Hello, welcome to Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. I paint various and sundry miniatures here on YouTube. So you can come in and check me out on weekdays where we explore the world in small form, little miniature guys. And gals. We do some girls occasionally. They're a lot more fun. They're a little more shapely. Men are pretty. Usually they have very plain clothes. Women get to have fancier, fun colors and stuff like that. You can put some fun colors on some guys. But most of the time, we're painting things that are like brooding knights and marines, and so they don't get to have all the fun stuff. Hello, Sir McBeardsly. That's our moderator there for the day. He's a great friend of ours. Always lovely to have you, friend. And a big shout out to all the other friends that do make it by and watch these shows. I know there's lots of you. We have several regular viewers now, so really appreciate you from wherever you are tuning in from all over the world. Last month, it was the U.S. and Japan. So konnichiwa. I don't know very much Japanese, so please don't, and pardon my accent. I'm from the country. Anyway, that's some people might get that joke, some people might not. If you watch a lot of anime, that joke makes a lot more sense. Because there's a couple of animes where they they make that joke. Anyway, hey, it's John back from the internet break. Lovely to see you, friend. Welcome back. It's nice to have you. All right, let's see. I got to get all my stuff out. A friend of mine came over and we were in here, him and Holland, and I moved some stuff around, and now all my stuff is disorganized. I was helping him out with a couple of kit bash things that he needed, so big shout out to my friend E Money. He knows who he is. No, y'all really didn't know what I was saying. But he's a watcher of the show, not a commenter, but a watcher, and I appreciate all my personal friends that I know in person that stop by and watch us. It's always really awesome. So anyway, new excitement. We've got shows coming up. Not these shows. We have expos. We're gonna go sell stuff out in the world in November. We've got 2 of them, so that's exciting. I gotta get the other one paid for so we can guarantee our spot. But that's pretty easy. And it's not till November, so we got like a month. It'd be great. We are in October, so I don't know. I was thinking about trying to find something fun and creepy to do. We'll see what I can dig up. Maybe I've got a couple of fun things in and around here that might be entertaining for Halloween. Plus, I was working on these candy corn guys. I have to show it to you. I've got the prototype. The first one is kind of built. Oh, my camera's all crazy again. My dog's barking. Oh my god. Seriously? No, let's leave that one on. Turn that one off. Okay, I'll be right back. If I could just, if I could get her to teach herself to oh man, I run into that door all the time. It's such a tight little spot over there. I have this big refrigerator over there that's from my restaurant. And it's like the best beverage cooler a studio could ever have because it's got a flat stainless steel top on it that's hard as hell. And it rolls. Oh god, I love that thing. So I loathe to get rid of it, but it is kind of like in a place that's not exactly the best. See, I think this actually works better when this light's like this. But yeah, I bump that door like crazy all the time. I probably need to move that to another location. But I love it so much. Okay, so yesterday I did put a layer of Alzerian Crimson on our captain here. So he is in Terminator armor. Which this is the that in-between stage. I have some of the new Terminators, which is where that head comes from. So I gave him that head, which is a it's a cooler head. So we can turn him into Dark Angel. So yeah, he's looking great. We kit bashed this shield. That was a Space Wolf shield, and this Inquisitor thing came with all these pauldrons that we got. So clipped the pauldron, added that pauldron, and then added this shield on top of his bolter, which is right there. So we got to come in. I didn't get around to Alzarian that, but we'll get that Crimson started as well. And then, yeah, we're gonna start working on all our artifact boxes and then our deals. Which I think I'm gonna paint these red. So they kind of have that. I want to get these to look like Deathwing. So we gotta mark him up to be that way. So if we paint these guys red, we should be able to kind of simulate that Deathwing look. I think people will understand what we're doing, especially if we paint this thing the Deathwing Terminator head color. That'll really look slick, right? So we'll get that bone white on that one's head, and it should look really great. Okay, so we also we have our kit bashes. So both these guys are looking great. We were working on this one. I think we're going to keep on this one. I might show you guys some other stuff over there, but I think we're going to do this one because he's got the nice plasma pistol, and we can kind of, you guys can see some neat stuff on this piece. So we'll work on him and our Tech Marine, which is, he is almost done with all his base coats. We'll go come around and paint that, and then we're in business there. So lots of stuff to do. Oh, and I'm gonna paint that Deathwatch symbol, the Inquisitorial eye with the skull and crossbones. We'll try to hand paint that into this. That'll probably be next week. That'll probably be like the last thing I do is freehand this piece, and then we'll be done with all of it. So but I am gonna put up a. I think we're gonna have like a. I don't know. I think I'm gonna say something. Put something on YouTube to get suggestions on what to do as Pauldron. I was thinking Lamenters, just because that's just so crazy. It would be such a crazy thing to do. I don't think there's supposed to be many Lamenters left. And they're yellow. Yeah. Hive Fleet Kraken nearly wiped them out, which would be great. So it would look great as Deathwatch, and it's a fun symbol. So Deathwatch can definitely be. Lamenters would be a fun one, and there's a couple other things we could do. So yeah. I will after I get done doing. After I get done today with this, I will I'll get on there and do that. Holy moly, I'm making a big old crashy mess over here. Everything's just falling to pieces. Okay. Alright, we didn't come here for me to run my mouth. We came here to paint stuff. Alright, so we're still working some of this places for Payne's Gray. These inside seals will be that color too. And we'll leave that arm silver because this is the way it should go. And we looked this up yesterday, and his plasma pistol is supposed to be gunmetal. So we'll go ahead and do that. Try to pay close attention to where the coil is here. Get everything else painted around it. We'll even do all these doodads with the silver on this. We'll come back and do some bronze gilding on everything else after we do the. And then after we do that, we'll do the the actual plasma pistol part, the plasma coil. Always check your underneaths. Always check your underneaths. you'll be real upset with yourself. You get all the way to the table and somebody picks it up and they giggle at you. Oh, we didn't drill this barrel. Not too thick. That one's too thick. I'm usually so good about drilling barrels, but we did this is a kit bash. Sometimes when I kit bash things I miss. Come on. Yeah. Set this one right. Make sure you're centering it. Oof, my poor eyes. I sun blinded myself today and I'm still trying to recover. This seems a bit excessive, but you'll if you drill your way through a couple of barrels in the wrong way, you'll start doing this more often. If you can get it started, make sure you have it centered the way you want, you have a whole lot more success. It's kind of like setting a pilot hole, I suppose. Hey, I see. You don't want to do that. You can't do that the whole way, but you can get it started enough to make this process a little bit cleaner, a little bit smoother. And you don't have to go real deep, just deep enough to make the crevice. Put a little more black on the inside there. Or I guess we could have put white in there and made it look like it was about to discharge the phaser round, plasma round. It's like a phaser. Star Trek. That's my Star Trek in my head. Can't. I'm a Trekkie at heart. Can't help it. Don't hate on me. Do love me some good old Star Trek though. What is the head from? That's heard from a Sound Marine. Now these are from these are Space Wolves. And then that's a head from, that's a Tech Marine head. And this one is a, what is it? That one came with the Inquisitorial stuff, so it's a Deathwatch head. And then that one was that's the Dark Angel Terminator head. And then I have a couple other like bald heads and stuff like that I've got from other packs, and I have tons of kit bash stuff around here. That is definitely something I highly recommend you do. Build up your stock of stuff you can kit bash with, and it's even if it's not all official. Like if you see old model kits and stuff like that on sale at like, I don't know, a bin shop or whatever, pawn shop, art shops, sales, you know, wherever you can find them. Grab those things, man. You'll be surprised what you can use out of them. Like I said, the storage tank on this weapon I made for the Tech Marine, that part right there comes off of a Millennium Falcon I've had. It's sitting on that wall right now. It's part of the landing gear right there. And like that's a, it just was the perfect size and perfect little piece. And I don't need the landing gear, so I nipped a little piece off there and throw it on there. So, and then like some of this stuff is official Games Workshop materials that kind of keep it all matched in scale, but a lot of it isn't. So you get that chance to kind of really have no. I think like this exhaust, I think this came from a different model kit altogether. I think this is from like Dune Buggies or something. And that is definitely the way to go if you want to get to kit bashing and work doing all that part of the hobby, so to speak. A little miss strike there. Ooh, I'll be glad when it's finally full on fall. Fall's just now starting. We're still ebbing and flowing through those allergies. I'll be glad when it's done. Going to the opera tonight. That's exciting for us. Chris and I are going to go out and watch some opera. Which that's good times. Still seems wrong. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, I was moving stuff around all over the place last night. And it's fun. It's good. It's good times to be able to hang out with your friends and shoot the bull and show off the miniatures. He hadn't been over to see any of this set, so it's cool. He's the guy who turned me from what got me started on miniature painting. I shouldn't say turn me. I still do a lot of traditional art. I started on traditional art and got rolling on this. And, you know, pretty good at it. Pretty quick. So, well, at least I think I am. We didn't do too bad knocking these guys out part-time. Month's worth of time and managed to knock out essentially 1,000 points of units. Maybe not 1,000 points of one army, but it should be pretty close to 1,000 points of units. Probably a little over, honestly. Canterbury Voice are doing a Halloween showing. Hey, that's cool. Yeah. That'll be neat. That's unfortunate she didn't get in, but that'd be a neat show. Too many voices for yeah, that's unfortunate. I know we are gonna go. We have tickets for like this haunted train thing. We're gonna go on like a haunted train ride, and we're gonna go as the Addams family. So I'm getting ready to cut off all my facial hair and go down to the Gomez Addams mustache. It's been a few years. I think I still have a face under here somewhere. But that'll be fun. That'll be I'll be entertaining for people. Alright. A quick touch up of all this. That's some sort of rune stone, so we'll paint it like one. Let's just clean up any of those little overstrokes we had. There was a tiny few of them. That was not, it's not an easy place to get into. Okay, same with the reliquary. Okay, did some bronze. This is a burnt sienna. We're dropping down for the gun holster. All that leather. We'll definitely do more than one coat here. And you can see how we kind of did a little bit of a pattern when I did the dry brush on it, and it's gonna look great. It'll actually translate through, and it'll make it look like leather. And that's one of the reasons I really do like that zenithal highlight technique. You can, a lot of these small details really will pop out for you a little bit better. Yeah, some things we're going to paint way over the top of what the zenithal was going to be, but for your small details and stuff like that, it's very helpful. Plus, it's also going to let you see everything, and that's, man, that's a big help, being able to see stuff. I'm just going to go leather here too. Keep this all pretty simple. That looks like a hard part though. Like it's got one of those tips to it maybe? No, it doesn't. It's stitched all the way down. Okay. Another thing that make your life easy, if you're keeping all your colors the same, all your leather colors pretty much the same, is that you can really regiment out and you just get rolling through things. Like tomorrow when I get to work on this, I'll be able to just click, 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 and go, 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 go. Think about running a marathon stream tomorrow, if anybody's interested. Maybe running it tomorrow evening. Really depends on how things go for me today and how I'm feeling, but if it's something something people are interested in, I might do it. Maybe we'll put up a poll. Lots of fun things to interact with coming up, it sounds like. I better get busy. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, anywhere else we're missing anything? No, okay, I'm gonna figure out. Alright, this one, we're just gonna do this one the same way we did this one. For him. Honestly, what we need to do is we need to take that skull out and put a fucking sword in there, but that's a lot of work. Not sure if you saw it, but I posted those minis in Discord this morning. Oh, nice. I saw some stuff in Discord. I didn't see all it. I was out driving Uber this morning, so I saw some stuff, but I'll go and take a look for sure. Okay. Definitely closing in on his wash time. Using that Fenris Gray or Fensrian Gray or however they say it. I love GW and their like never-ending quest to copyright everything that they do. It's hilarious. Okay. So the next thing we want to try to do is on this guy is some race stripes. Which means first and this sounds really weird, but it works. Because we're going to use yellow on the hazard stripes. What we need to do first is drop just a tiny bit of pink in as your first layer. This is a pale terracotta. I use this for a lot of my faces. If I'm doing Caucasian faces. It has that white boy look. Don't worry about if it's perfect or not. That's not bad. That's not that big a deal. You see how fast that yellow is going on, how easy it's where it's going. It's turning yellow now. Boom. That's just a little bit of pink underneath it. That's all I did. One layer of pink. Came back with cadmium, deep hue. Boom. Comes in nice and yellow. Might drop one more coat of this on after it dries, and then we throw in the black. Throw in the black hazard stripes, and we're in business, right? Give it just a few seconds. Blow on it. Might help if I had actual paint on that brush. There we go. There we go. Happy little chain sword. use the teeth as your guide because they're set at an angle. So we went 1, 2 wide. We need to skip 1, 2. We need to do the next 2. Quick, easy way to knock out some stripes. Bam, bam. We ain't gotta be messing around and waiting. We are done. Easy peasy. And now you kind of want to make this wrap around the same way. So we want 1, 2. So 1, 2. And that one. Pay to that second one. Make sure we got it nice and even. Line up your teeth. Finish filling it in. One, 2, skip me 1, 2, because we gotta skip those 2, right? Boom. Real simple, easy, no fuss, no muss. It's gonna look great, and just makes your life fast. You know, I've seen people try to tape these things. I've seen all sorts of craziness. I'm like, man, you are doing a lot of work. Yeah. Well, I have a lot of practice. I also like, so you have to, one of the things I think really helps me is I was a chef for so many years. So like doing things with my hands, I'm really good with my hands. And you have to be if you want to keep your fingers. So like, if you're bad with your hands and you're a chef, you end up with, you know, they call you Frankie Four Fingers, you know. Why they call him Frankie Four Fingers? Because he's only got 4 fingers. Like gangsters cut him off. God, the things I think are funny are messed up. Although I have to admit, I miss movies like that. Snatch was such a great film. Like it was so fun. Like every now movies, they're so serious. It seems like you're just like, I want some childishness in this gangster movie. Because gangsters are childish. I'm still working on being home. Hey, that's nothing wrong with that. How close to taking him a half-inch short? Yeah. Yep. And that was real thin, and that's what we wanted. But now we got to remove all this excess. I actually pull up my bigger brush. I want to try to get back behind it, but just to lighten it all up. It's so dark in there right now. A little bit of paper color on that. All right, he's getting pretty close here. Try to keep your strokes going downward here if you can. And that's just to help you catch the light, the way the light is going to come on. If you keep it going down, it'll help you. And just remember to clean up your little thingies. Yeah, that's all I do now anymore is home cook. I don't get. I don't do it professionally anymore. I was pretty good though back in my day. I mean, I am still pretty good, but I couldn't cook. I definitely couldn't cook like I used to. If you put me on a line today, I'd be a liability. This guy's hair is crazy. You got a top knot and a side lock. What is going on here? That's fun though. Be careful with this. Make sure that there's a little rune on there. Make sure you don't overflow that rune with paint. You want to be able to catch it with a wash or something like that later on down the road. All right, we got to figure out what color we're going to make his hair. Just going to give him a nice bronze top knot here, or not top piece. Looks like you just pulled a brass fitting off of an engine and threw it on his hair through it. I don't know. What do you guys think? What color hair? Black? Brown? Gray? Green? He looks like he's got black hair to me. Now this is our Mars black. It is pretty darn black. So I'm going to come through here. I kind of want a thin version of this. I don't want it to be too thick. Kind of hoping some of our highlighting is going to do a little bit of help here with it for us once this all settles in. I'm not completely confident what that's going to do with Mars. Mars black is pretty potent, but it's pretty much a jet flat black. And from here, we'll be able to add some highlights and things like that. We'll add some gray to it, and it'll help look a little bit better. And if you don't want him to look a little like old from gray, you could add like you could do like a light brown color to it, and that'll help too. And sometimes you get lucky, and your highlight will be enough. But with black, it's all bets are off. You won't really know till it dries. That's why I talk about this all the time, about how I don't really use a lot of black. Most of my blacks are something else, and then other things added on top of it until we get some sort of final layer that looks black. But that's because once you go black, like they say, once you go black, you can't go back. But with colors on a paint thing, it kind of is true. You're definitely stuck in a spot there. You're as black as it gets, so you're gonna have to start lightening it up from there. So you kind of it's like setting an unshakable course. You're going that way. It's gonna happen. All right, so this is a very thin burnt umber. We're just adding that to a lot of these features. It's basically a very light wash. we're using just to kind of help bring out those edges. We only need to let that dry for a little bit. Yeah, little racing stripe thing going on. Might need to put just a little bit more yellow on there. That's okay. Now we've got it set. Makes it pretty easy. And you could also, so here's some fun stuff. Let's do like just a little bit of fun here. I'll wait on that to dry up. Let's have a little fun. Let's have a little. We do need to do the teeth anyway. So let's come through and do all teeth very carefully, very carefully. And follow the direction of the teeth. Don't go against them. Go this way, your brush is gonna flip around and stuff. So you can see how the teeth are angled that way, so we're going with it. It seems really kind of like unimportant, but it is super important. Okay, now here's something you can do too. So like we know right around here, around these edges, this is gonna get chewed up, right? So we're just gonna kind of, because this is the side he's hitting stuff with. So right around the edge, we're just little tiny dots and dips. I don't even know that you'll be able to see that on the camera. Maybe. But it looks like just the edge, there's chips where it goes down to the metal. And those kind of, and we can even, this nut on the guard, we can turn that silver. And that's going to give it some more little details. And all these little tiny details, you keep picking these things out, and it makes it look more and more and more realistic. Now, of course, we're not going to do too much on this because the client, you know, the bid is at a certain level, and so you don't want to paint yourself into a situation where you are over painting based on the price for the commission. Which is why a lot of people only do certain levels. Like you're only like, oh, I only paint a certain way, so I'm not gonna. But I'm not like that. I want your business. I want to paint it. I want to paint it. Mainly because it gets to where I don't have to pay for stuff to paint on the channel, and it doesn't. And it's not always the same stuff that way. Because like I'm not gonna necessarily go and buy a bunch of Warhammer stuff myself, but to paint up, but I'll paint it if somebody's got it, and we'll definitely do it on the show, because hell yeah, we'll do it on the show. Steve Steiner, hey there, like it, thanks, good thing, absolutely. So yeah, you know what, like I said, everybody's kind of got their own opinions on things, but you should follow what you want to do. If you think he should be a red-headed whatever, make him that, you know, unless it's a commission, in which you do what they want to do. Okay, so look, so we want just a little touch of gray here. I want this kind of like a charcoal. Okay, so we're looking at like a very light. You almost can't tell the difference between the gray, the pulled out version of the Mars Black and the gray we're using here. Now it gets real. This gets easy. If you make it easy, it can be very hard if you don't. We're just going to kind of follow the hair out, right? Oof. And we want to just follow the hair out. Right? Go with it. Go with it. Let it tell you where to go. Keep in mind your light source is up here, so we don't need to be painting all the way up underneath. Might grab a little bit of it, but don't worry too much. If there's any cross paint or anything down there, we'll pick it up and turn it black like it should be, or at least dark colored. And you can build this up in layers too. So like, oh, I think I need a little bit more of the gray. Okay, well, you can add a little bit more. I want it to be a little bit brighter in this spot. Then you brighten up and you come back again. If you work in these layers, and you just kind of work slowly and take your time. I mean, I know it doesn't look like I take my time, but again, I've been doing this for a while. We're trying to grab the highlights, and you start getting it lighter than this, your gray lighter than this, and he'll start to look older and older. So the wider you make these highlights, the older your marine is going to look. So definitely think about that on what you want it to look like before you get too far in. And I always recommend that people let stuff dry. Get to a place where you're like, okay, I think if I go any further, it might end up too light. Stop there, let it dry, come back. And now you can see we're getting a little bit of those highlights out. They're starting to look good. Yeah, he's a good looking marine. Good looking marine. We are dang near ready. I think we need to do this. I think we're ready for that final wash here. Cool. We'll have this guy done. I'll finish this guy up on today, and then I'll do some of these guys off screen. We'll see what we want to look at next week. I still have tons of other ones to get done too. I'm sure everybody wants to see the Tech Marine, and of course we're gonna finish with this guy. But let me know if you guys want to see this other Space Wolf or this Terminator, and I don't know. I'm thinking, man, I really feel like we do a big long bonus episode tomorrow because the deadline's next week, so I gotta get it done up and out of my hair. So many options. I gotta be in here painting anyway, so I feel like, you know, it might be fun to do a long run. Who knows? Might get more viewers, subscribers. That's the chase, right? You're chasing subscribers. Restaurants, you're always chasing the good critics. You wanted the good reviews from good critics. In this, it seems like you're just you're chasing subscribers. Speaking of which, if you haven't subscribed and you like what you see, give us a subscribe. And if you like the video, give us a like, because it definitely helps me kind of decide to keep going. Keeps me motivated. We've had a lot of Warhammer success, so we probably will keep doing some Warhammer stuff from time to time. It does usually get the big hits, so. I do have some extra Warhammer stuff. We could definitely go into something else from here pretty quickly and easily. Okay. Alright. Let's do it. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what this jar is, this jar of blackness, it is our magical grime wash. This is how I make everything look. I call it, this is like grimdark in a jar, right? And basically what it is it's oil paint and mineral spirits. And the mineral spirits break down the oil and the pigment and make it all kind of greasy and globby and grimy and gooky, which makes things go from looking like this to looking like this, which is exactly what we want, right? Now, I will tell you this. Be careful about the brushes you use. Don't use your brushes you want to keep. Because this thing will definitely... it's definitely going to make your brushes stained up and crazy. And it gets all the way up in the folds and all that stuff. So, you know, at your own risk. Now, we will need to come here and do these skulls and crossbones and that skull afterwards. But we're going to have so much of this stuff on here. I didn't even base coat it because I'm worried about this. It works pretty quick. It'll it finds the crevices for you, which is wonderful. Like I said, same thing with this here. We're going to do up the plasma pistol coil after it all sets and dries. You also buy a substance like this from, God, who makes that? Tayama? Tayama makes it. It's called Panel Liner. So they sell it's a similar product to what this is, but you know, instead of paying for it, you can just make it. And like I said, that black grime leave on here is going to really turn our what looks like a dark blue, navy blue, into a black. So we can be real generous with this. We're even going to do this on our leather because it's going to help with that leather staining effect. You see how it's really starting to look like old distressed leather. Kind of keep moving it around. It can kind of set up in places and pull a bit too much. But you can also, once it dries, you can paint right on top of it. So if you did get it up in a place and you're like, oh man, and you can't get it out, you didn't notice it or whatever, you can always paint right over top of it once it all dries, and you're ready to rock and roll. It's a great substance, and you can, you know, you can make it kind of thicker or thinner. You can put more of the paint in there if you want. If you want to make it a little bit more schmitzy and a little less, you know, flowing. There's lots of options, so you kind of do it however you want. It's really going to help this chainsword look really old. I said we come back. You come back and you can pick out any of the highlights you feel like you need to as well. Let's do a little bit just around the edge of this. I don't want to get this too. This would be something I feel like they would polish more, so we want to kind of just be very careful with how we stain it. It gives it some shadow and some depth, but doesn't take away from the pureness of that color. Which we really distressed that color here on this. Like if we want to. You can also, I've shown this several times, but I like to show it every time we pull this out. If you want to pull a little bit off of there, we can always come through and very lightly kind of remove some of it. You can blot it, or you can be careful rubbing it too much, because it can rub off that paint that you put on there. Okay, so just be careful. But it can also clean that up, make it look a little bit brighter, if that's what you need. Or if you got it in a place like this is a great place for it. It's a little bit too much right here. I'm gonna pull a little bit off there, pull that down. Looking great. He looks great. All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna let that dry. Got like 5 minutes left for today. And let me go ahead and jump on here and do. I'm gonna do a poll. Let me. Okay, so we'll do a poll and for a marathon tomorrow. So make sure everybody votes on this, because then if not, I'm gonna feel like I did this or nothing. Okay, so I got that set up, and that's fun. So if you like what you saw, and you want to see some more, want to see us tomorrow, go ahead and go hit up that poll. I'll come back on. I'll do a live tomorrow. You know, if we can get heck, I don't know. Even if I get one person voting, I'll come do it. I gotta paint it anyway. So, but if people are interested in watching, I'll pop on, and we'll. It always looks better when I turn it off. I should always forget. Let me know if the sound sounded okay. That I put the mic up a little higher, so it wasn't quite like right in my view of vision. But I don't know if it needs to be just a little bit lower or what. Because I think I can pull it down about right here. Probably be okay. But yeah, always trying to improve. For somebody who doesn't know anything about any of this sound and video stuff, I'm always trying to get a little bit better. So definitely let me know if you guys think some ideas and stuff like that I can do. Let me know in any of the comments on any of the videos. I appreciate it. I love that people think that this is entertaining and they want to watch me do these things. So thank you all so much for giving me a little giggle and a good day. So I appreciate it. Yeah. Be good to yourselves. Be good to somebody else. Be good to somebody you don't know. Just spread a little good in the world. There's plenty of bad. Maybe if we all spread a little bit of good, it'll help. And we'll be back maybe tomorrow. If not, we'll be back on Monday. We'll talk to you later. Bye.